I'll stand over here by my niece Yolanda, who was killed. I'm honored to be here today at the Soul Shots portrait exhibit. It memorializes the loved ones of mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, sons, daughters, nieces, nephews, aunts, uncles, friends. And it gives a chance for all of you who've never got a chance to meet these people, know a little bit about them. Unfortunately, this is my second time participating in this Soul Shots project. My brother Ronald was killed also in 1981. He was 31 years old by gun violence in the streets of Brooklyn, New York, where someone chased him down after he was coming home from work and stopped at a fast food restaurant to get food to eat. Some young boys chased him down, shooting him in his arms and his legs, and he's running and running, and he's running into a phone booth downstairs in the train station, the A train over there by the Fulton Street Park. And he's calling the police, trying to get help, and no one can get there on time before they come down and they shoot him. And at court that day, when we went to court to find out, they says, "Why did you shoot Mr. Sanders?" And the guy says, "Because he was bigger than me." And you wonder, why were you chasing him and bothering him? He had 5 children. So this is my second time here because I got the chance to memorialize my sister's daughter, Yolanda. Yolanda was 26 years old when she was gunned down in the streets of Brooklyn, New York also. This is a picture of Yolanda here with her daughter, Ebony, holding in her hand, and my sister, Barbara, her mother, who's in the top corner. The artist did such a beautiful time, and Hayes, she did a beautiful job in connecting the connectivity of making this round but beautiful portrait of them, showing the love and the connection and also the brokenness. If you could see the frame of the picture of that my sister is in, the top is kind of chopped off. It shows the fracturedness of what happened, the pain, and then the circle shows that they will constantly be there together. So today I'd like to share a little bit about my niece Yolanda. Yolanda was 26 years old when she was going to the store and left her child home with a friend, and she was accosted by a man who shot her in the head and let her lay into the street, just dying. It was a neighborhood that she knew well, and so everyone ran to tell her brother that she was laying in the street, bleeding to death. Her brother had to come and identify her, her brother Shane, and he quickly called my sister that lives in Florida. She had moved away, she lived in Florida, to tell her that her beautiful young daughter was laying in the street with her brains leaking out on the ground. And this my sister had to hear and absorb and make sense of. Then they had to go and find her daughter to see, well, where's the child? They found the child, and my sister literally raised Ebony, and Ebony was 3 years old at the time that this happened. So with this, you would think that one was enough, but as we can see, sometimes families have more than one life being taken. I remember the first time I heard about a friend of mine, brother was killed, and it was in my early 20s, maybe around 23 years old. And he was telling us a story how he was just walking up the street and some guys and the girls was walking by. And I guess they're young, and he kind of flirted with the girl, and one of the guys pulled out a gun and killed him. And I heard that, and I felt the hurt of this person because I had never lost anyone at that time, and the hurt was so, I could see the hurt on that person, but I can sympathize with that person, but I couldn't really feel that same hurt. And then a couple of years later is when my brother got killed, and then I knew for sure what that hurt felt like. That hurt was, it just ripped my heart out. I couldn't believe that this thing had happened to me. And then So then I really understood what the hurt meant. And then my sister experienced it, and I experienced it again through my niece. But you know, it takes it to a whole different level when it's a mother that experiences this with their child. That's a whole different pain. It all hurts. It's all pain. But it's a whole different level that it takes it to. And so I just wanted to, I'm thanking everyone for coming here today and sharing in this pain with us and sharing with this knowledge with us. And in this United States that we live in, there's something that needs to be done with this gun violence that's out here, because it's not a matter of, you know, this is happening to other people like I thought at one time. It's so prevalent out here. It's touching almost all of us. Everyone you know knows someone that was killed by gun violence. It's touching us all. And so I'd like to thank everyone who worked on this project. I'd like to thank Ann Hayes, the artist, for the creative and beautiful portrait she made of my niece. I'd like to thank all of you for coming out here to hear the stories of this tragic loss, our losses. And in concluding, I would like to share a poem I wrote about my niece. I wrote one about my brother also, but it's sort of like memorializing them. I love the fact that Soul Shots is giving them a chance to advocate for themselves, even in the fact that they're no longer here. These beautiful, lifelike portraits are traveling around New Jersey in different schools and hospitals and all types of different places where people will hear their story. And maybe it will touch some hearts, and maybe it will even stop someone that may eventually get their hands on a gun from killing someone else, because they'll realize the hurt and devastation that it's doing to people. So and my hope is that I always wanted to do something for my brother and for my niece. And now I feel at peace, because I feel like I have done something for them, that they can go on, and now their voices, though muted, are speaking out loud against gun violence. And I love that. I feel so blessed and so honored that this has happened, that I was able to bring them back, to bring their memories back to people who have never seen them before. So I'd like to read this poem that I wrote for my niece, Yolanda. Yolanda was a victim of a crime. She was a loving sister and a friend. But not a soul was made to serve the time. We all loved her so much until the end. My niece was she until the day she died. A deed was done that made her mother mourn. Her child so small was left alone and cried, and all the other broken hearts were torn. She died so young, no time to live much life. The dirty deed was laid, so tragic fraught. Gun violence dealt a blow, blood-soaked in strife. The lesson we all learned, so plainly taught. When will this type of violence ever end? Now we must find the strength to say goodbye. When will this type of violence ever end? We look to God above, up in the sky. A law against gun violence must be penned. I thank you all for coming and sharing this with us. Thank you so much.